Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you from everywhere that you're tuning in from. And welcome to another LambdaTest webinar. Today we are going to deep dive over the fundamentals of locators and XPath in Selenium. Before we begin, let's quickly cover a few housekeeping items. This session will be an hour long, so in case you need to drop off, this webinar is recorded and will be shared with you over your registered email address. And you can also find the full recording of the session over our YouTube channel. Uh, so you can watch it whenever it is convenient for you. In case you need to drop off, don't worry about that part. We've got that covered. We would love to hear from you. So if there's anything you need to ask, by all means, feel free to drop your questions or thoughts in the Zoom chat box. And we'll be answering to all of those questions towards the end of this webinar, where we'll have a dedicated Q&A round. Having said that, let's get to it. Sanjay, could you go to the next slide, please?
Yep. Also, just wanted to add one more point. Like those who are watching us live on YouTube, please feel free to drop your questions there on the YouTube live. We will be covering those as well.
Perfect. So joining me today, I'll start off with myself. I'm Harshit Paul. I manage product and growth at LambdaTest. Joining us today is Sanjay Kumar, who is the inventor and creator of SelectorsHub and XPath. Hi, Sanjay. It's great to have you here, buddy. Thanks for taking your time out. And having said that, let's quickly hop on to today's agenda.
Thank you, Harshit. It's a great opportunity, and I'm feeling so blessed today that we are connected people all across the globe. And yeah, situation and time is really tough. So I hope you all are doing good and great. And so please stay at home and be safe. So today's topic, like what all things we are going to cover today in today's session is that, like, what is XPath, the importance of it, and yes, we all know that how important this functionality is in our automation. The most important point which I really wanted to cover in this session, which you might have never been taught or it has never been discussed, the locators and XPath myths. Because generally we always read and learn about how to write the things, how to do the things, but we never think about, like, are we doing it in a right way? Then we'll be covering how SelectorsHub has solved all the testers and locators problems, and then we'll see how these things can be done like very fast pace and with a huge amount of efficiency. How can we improve with the LambdaTest and the SelectorsHub? So let's quickly jump into the session.
Sanjay, just one thing I would like to just answer to one
Sure.
of the queries regarding the recordings that we received in the chat.
Yeah.
So for the recording, you don't need to send us any email. You can find the full recording over our YouTube channel as well. And if you're already registered to one of the, to this webinar, we will be sharing the full recording of this entire webinar with you right, right after the session. Thank you. I hope that answers your question for me. Please,
Yep.
Sanjay, by all means, take it.
And the YouTube channel name is LambdaTest, and you can just right away subscribe to that and turn on the notification. So as soon as this recording comes in, you get the notification and you don't miss it. Okay, great. Thank you, Harshit. Importance and what is XPath? XPath is basically like address of any web element. Like on the planet, like on globe, every place used to have its own address. Similarly, on like website or on the web, if you see every web element which you see, like login button, username, everything used to have its own address. Now, how important those address are, how important those XPath and locators are. Those XPath and locators are as important as the tires of a car in our automation. Like if you notice in this GIF, what it is telling you is that the importance of locators. You see, if your car doesn't have the good tires, your car will not run for long. It will break down just after like you say that in a single run it will break down. So similarly, like if in your automation script, if the locators, if the XPaths are not good, your script will not execute. It will break in just in single run. Like let's say you run it now, it may run, but in the next run it will break if those locators XPath are not stable. So we will have to make sure that we write very stable locators and XPath, whatever you say. Like there are same term XPath. XPath is one of type of a locators or selectors. So so now we understood that what is XPath. XPath is basically the address of a web element. Here we will be mostly talking about the web. Yes, there are like XML as well in X, parsing and all that used to be done. So for now, we will keep aside that one. We'll talk about the web. So in the web, if you see that any web element like this is a on Google search page. This is one element where we used to enter some text or anything. If we inspect, if we have to enter in this box something, first we need the address of that, then we can type something, and then we will press on Google search. So for that, how we used to get the address, how we used to get the XPath of this element, we inspect that element, right? And then we start writing XPath. So what are the XPath functions and CSS selector functions? So the very standard function of XPath is this one, // tag name @attribute name is equal to attribute value. Then another function is // tag name contains then inside parenthesis @attribute name comma attribute value. Then there is a text function. Then there is a contains text function. Normalize space is also there. Following, preceding, and or index, position, normalize. So likewise, there are n number of functions, which is really hard to cover in any webinar session. So yes, there are a lot of functions. So this is the very standard XPath function which we all used to write. But we cannot remember all the functions, and all the new functions keep coming every day. Whatever we start writing XPath, we used to keep writing in that fashion. Okay. Similarly, CSS selector, it also has like n number of functions. Like if we have to write the CSS selector with ID value, then we use hash before ID values. If we are going to write CSS selector with class using class value, then we have to replace all the spaces by dot and join all the class values, all the words in a class value by dot. Then there is another function in CSS selector that tag name square bracket attribute name is equal to attribute value. Then there is a dollar function which you might not have heard about this thing. If you want to write the CSS selector by ending value of attribute value, then you can use dollar, cap is there, star is there. So yes, there are n number of XPath functions and the CSS selector functions. Okay. And it is always suggested to us that we should learn our own XPath and we should write own XPath. Yes. So this is what, so these are the basic functions. I will teach about them like, whatever possible. Now, it is always suggested to us that, and in general, like what term you would have heard, that we would not recommend any XPath tool. You should learn to write your own XPath and CSS selectors, right? And I'm sure, like, in fact, I also suggest that you should learn to write your own XPath and CSS selector. But what myths were there in the past because of this saying? Because of this, that we write our own XPath, we are perfect in writing XPath, we are expert in XPath, I don't need any tool. But let me tell you the fact that we always used a tool. We always used a tool. What does that mean by when I'm saying that we always used a tool? That you see that when you said that you are expert and you are writing your own XPath. So what you do, what does that mean? Basically, that means is you are writing your XPath here in DevTools, right? Like let's say if you have to get all the links on this page, what you will do, and you are an expert in XPath, you will write like this way. I hope my screen is visible. Let me just zoom in so it will be more clear. So you see
Yes,
that
it's
if,
visible.
thank you. So if you see that here, if someone asks us like how many links on this page, immediately we will do // a here and 75s are there. right? This way we used to verify our XPath. We never go on a notepad or there we start writing XPath. Will you go and here you will write your own XPath? No, we always write an XPath here. So the very first thing which we always say is that we write our own XPath and we don't use any tool. No, that's the wrong thing. We always used a tool which is a dev tools, which is a browser dev tools to write and verify our own XPath and selectors. Right, this we have always used. Some people use this one, some people use like here, like this way dollar x, and this way if it is an XPath, then this way we have verified, right? Okay. Myths. DevTools provide the right count of selectors match. You all might be thinking that when we verify our XPath here in DevTools, this used to give the right count. But the fact is, no, it doesn't give you the right count. When you verify here, let's say how many links are there on this page, we ask, we do /a here, and you see it is showing 75. But is this right? Like, are there 75 links on this page? No, there are not 75 links on this page. It is showing a string match as well. If you close this one and do Command F again, you see that, let me just delete this value. It says that find by string. It also includes the result of matching strings, which we never cared about. We thought like whatever results we are getting, that is right. No, not at all. It gives the string match as well. So when you did /a here, it also include wherever it finds the /a. So there are not 75 links on this page. What you are getting the information, that is wrong. Even if you would have written an XPath here, the complete XPath, if that string will match in the page, that will also show it as a result. And trust me, because of this, so many people got rejected in an interview, because it's a very common question asked in an interview: how many links on this page, how many broken links are on this page? And people does like this way, and right from there itself, trainer, I mean interview used to say, okay, thanks, we got it. So this is not the right place to verify, because it gives a string match. Okay, one scenario got failed, and many times you used to get the right result, but unfortunately you have wasted tremendous amount of time, and we are wasting a lot of time while writing and verifying XPath here unknowingly. Because what happened, let's say on this page, if we have to write an XPath for any element, so what happened, like let's say for this element we want to write an XPath. Okay, what we will do, /div, then @class, and you see when we type, this used to go up and down, lot of effort. Again we'll have to inspect, copy this value, paste it here, and you see we'll close this one. Now it is finding 1 of 6. So now we would not be able to make it unique here, trust me, this element, because now you see just after above it, section, body, and HTML, nothing you are finding common here, and it is showing 6 matching node. So you might start trying to create a unique XPath, because it is showing 6, you have to make it unique. So what you will try, you will add section here. Now it is showing 4. Again you will inspect that element, you will try with something else, like maybe you try body here, to add body here, still 4. Then you will again try something else, and here it might end up that we are not able to write any XPath. So in this case, you will waste time. You will keep wasting your time. You will keep figuring out what could be unique, how to write XPath for this one. This is not finding unique, but actually this is a unique XPath, this one for this element. for this element, this container element, this XPath is unique. Let me show you how. Here you just go to SelectorsHub and paste this XPath, and it will show you that this is a unique XPath. So whatever XPath you have written in the first attempt, that was right. So here what you get the information that is not right. And unknowingly, like you will think that, okay, this is a normal XPath, I'm trying to write XPath, and you will keep wasting. And trust me, I cannot it's tough to cover all the scenarios here, but there are n number of scenarios and very common scenarios where you are wasting unknowingly a lot of time in writing XPath in DevTools, because this gives the wrong information, and because of that wrong information, you keep writing, keep trying. Another scenario here, like for this element, if you have to write a selector, so what you will do, like you immediately start writing XPath or something at the rate, let's say id is there, so id will take. So you see that this is the formula which I have shown you guys in the first slide, that // tag name, this is a tag name, at the rate attribute name is equal to attribute value. So you see that it is showing 0 of 0, but it is not suggesting anything. Okay, so let's try now. Let me tell you that this element is inside shadow DOM. So XPath won't support shadow DOM. This is a concept, guys. XPath doesn't support shadow DOM, or you can say shadow DOM doesn't support XPath. So this is a concept, you can keep it with you. So we will have to write the CSS selector for this one. And how to write CSS selector? We can take the ID, and as I showed you guys, hashtag ID. But here it is showing 0 of 0. And can we verify it in console as well? Like few people think that even console API gives the right result. No, that also doesn't give. Like let me show you. Here if you type $, and this CSS selector here, you see that it is also not giving any result. Both are the right way. Like if you write with the $, it will give the a unique one. If you write with the $1, uh, if you basically $, is like find elements method, it will give all the matching results. When you write dollar and then CSS selector, it is like find element method, it will give one web element. So you see in both the cases you are not getting any result. So not this, not this, not this, though this is a right CSS selector for this element. If you open CSS selector and paste this value, whatever you have write, and enter, you see that it is showing one element matching and all the information here. See this element inside shadow DOM, and you will get all those information. So I will show everything this in the coming session. So what basically I'm trying to tell you guys is that this was never discussed in our industry. It was never taught that DevTools doesn't provide the right count. This was a myth that DevTools provide the right count of selectors match. DevTools is not the right platform to verify your XPath and selectors. I mean, it's not a bug or any issue in DevTools, because DevTools is not meant for only for verifying XPath and selectors. It has different functionalities as well. Along with that, it has the like a string match, so it shows those results in the console API. It has the different functionality altogether, along with the selectors verification. So it's not meant it is not built only to verify XPath and selectors. So like in fact, like most of the trainers now used to recommend it selectors, so they used to recommend selectors up to write and verify your own XPath. Earlier they used to say like we don't recommend any XPath tool, but now they say yes, we recommend the selectors up to write and verify. Another concept is when DevTools shows 0 matching nodes, it is 100% true. Is it true? No, it's not true. This is another myth. What we think, like many times we think like when it is showing 0, we thought like, okay, this is a 0 matching node, but no, as you can see that it is 1 matching node. So what information you get from here, that is not always right. Even if you, let's say you have written like some wrong XPath here, let's say for in this case, if you have written even for the wrong XPath, it will show you some matching node. It will not, it will show zero matching node, though it should show like the XPath is wrong, like this is one matching node. Okay, now if you have written the wrong XPath, in that case it will show zero matching node, but this is not even XPath itself, this is not the right syntax of XPath. So how you will get to know that? You will get to know from SelectorsHub only. So this is a myth that what DevTools gives you this information is correct. No, it's not correct. When DevTools shows zero matching node, that is not true. These are myths, guys. These are the misconceptions which we have never discussed, which has never been taught to us in our industry due to lack of innovations, and whatever process we followed, we just followed it. The third one is DevTools generate the correct XPath for all the web elements. Many of you might be aware, you know that we can get the selectors just by right click on the element, right? Like you can right click on this and you can copy the XPath in selector value and you can get that, right? So let me show you that it's not always true. If you inspect like let's say we have inspected this element, if you right click and copy this value, copy XPath, and now you paste that here. So the very first thing is should have not generated the XPath for this element, because this is not this element is inside Shadow DOM and it doesn't support. So this is generating a wrong selector for this element. If any element is SVG element, let's say we inspect this icon here and you right click and copy XPath value here and paste it here. You see that it is showing zero matching node. But then let's paste the same XPath what you got from DevTools and press enter. You see that SelectorsHub tells you that invalid SVG XPath format. So what I'm trying to teach you here, what value you copy or get or what DevTools generate the XPath, those are not always correct. So don't consider it as an standard solution. This is not the right and standard solution for your XPath and selectors writing. So these are the myths of our industry which we always followed, and we thought like whatever information, whatever information and the like whatever matching notes we are getting from DevTools, that those are correct. No, those are not correct at all. So please write and verify your XPath and selectors in the right place. It was like in the past, yes, we did those things, but not anymore. We should not do anything more in that way, because that is not the right way of writing and verifying selectors. You might still might be hearing from some people that from those who are not aware, you might still hear from them that we don't recommend XPath tool. But then in that case you can ask them like what you recommend, like DevTools to write and verify selectors. Then you can also explain them. I mean, if whatever knowledge you are getting from this webinar, I would really request you guys that please share this awareness with the people, that because unknowingly they are wasting their time by doing this way in DevTools. So please spread this awareness about these myths, because it has never been discussed in our industry. So what is the solution for all these? We have the SelectorsHub now. As you see that it has solved all your problems, and it gives solution for each and every problem, and it gives all the right information about each DOM element, whether it's a dynamic element, whether it's a SVG, shadow DOM, nested shadow DOM, nested iframe, SVG, anything. It will support everything, and it will give always the right information. And if anything will not possible, it will tell that as well. How to install and use it? So it's very simple. Just go to selectorshub.com, click on download button, whichever browser you want. So this is the very first extension, browser extension, which is available for all the browsers, all the major browsers which you can think of except IE. And for the very obvious reason, it is not available for IE. You know that. So it is available for Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, Opera, Brave, Chromium, Tor. So if you want to install it for Chrome, so just click on this. I will like give you guys 2-3 minutes. Please install it. So if you face any challenge, then you can at the same time you can ask. So I guess there is a chat session. I will put this link. You can install from here. So just add it in your browser. So I will show you quickly like live workshop so that you don't face any problem. Here it will be like add to Chrome button. For you, it must be showing add to Chrome. Add that, click on that, and then accept that. And once it will be added in your browser, it will not show here. It will show like this. So if it once it is added, click on this extension icon over here, default extension icon, and then you can pin to toolbar. Then it will start showing here. If you click on this, it will show few information, and this is really good information. You can check it out, read it out. And after that, after installing it, I would request you, either you restart your browser, best is restart, or whatever tabs are already opened, just refresh them so that SelectorsHub get the the updated DOM. And this is just required only once when you add it in your browser. And another thing, don't try any extension, not just SelectorsHub, on the blank tab, because extensions require the work for the web application, not for the blank tab. It will work for the local HTML files as well, but not on the blank tab. So make sure that you have opened google.com, not the blank tab. There should be a URL here in the address bar. If you will try on the blank tab, it will show like this, and then you must be thinking it's not generating, it's not working. So please try it on google.com. And when you will also, let me show you where you will find in the dev tools, like right click, inspect, and you see that on the left side you will find elements tab. On the right side you will not find the SelectorsHub immediately. If you don't find, don't worry, it will be the last tab. Click on these two arrow icons, and then you see SelectorsHub is the last tab, or better you expand it here. Okay, as I have zoomed in, so last tab will be the SelectorsHub, then you can find it here. Okay, so I hope like you guys have added it. Now how SelectorsHub is going to help you to learn writing your own XPath. Coming to the second point of our agenda, that how can we write our own XPath and how can we learn more about XPath. Because if you will learn writing your own XPath, then also you would not be able to learn each and every function. Like you learn any language like Java, Python, or any language. Do you learn each and every function of that language? No, right? How do you get to know about all the functions of that language? When you start writing in smart editor in IntelliJ, that's where you start getting a lot of information. You start learning, like as soon as you start typing, you get all the functions. That's how you learn all these functions. Do you remember all these functions are there in driver, WebDriver? No, I don't think anybody remember all these functions. But how you start getting start learning those functions? When you start writing the code. So same thing SelectorsHub has made possible. You just start typing. It will help you to learn and write your own XPath within seconds. Let's see how. Let's say we want to write XPath for this element. What we will do, this is an input tag. When you start typing here in DevTools, so we seen that it used to give wrong results, as well as we have to inspect that same element multiple times. You start typing here in, you see that as soon as you start typing, it gives you the result. It gives you the auto suggest like in a smart editor, /input. There are 9 match for this input. You are typing XPath. So it gives all the information over here. That input, your this is a suggestion like you do in smart editor, right? As soon as you type dot, you get the suggestion. Same, as soon as you start typing, it will start giving you the suggestion XPath function. So this is the very first smart editor which will help you to learn. So you see that you start typing and then you get all the information here. You select this, you type more. If anyone asks you that how many functions, how many XPath you can write for this one, you see that you can write these many types of XPath. Can you think of, like, without a tool or without a smart editor, can you think of these many XPath is possible? And immediately, like, what will be the occurrences of that? So this is where selectors will help you a lot to learn and write your own XPath. And you see that how quickly you can build. Now let me show you how quickly you can build your own XPath. This quickly you can build your own XPath. And let's say you want to write XPath with following siblings or preceding siblings, so that also you can do. Like, you just start inspecting element, and you can write with the preceding sibling, following siblings. As soon as you start typing here, like, it start giving you the result. Now you have to get the parent of this, or ancestor of this. What you do, you just type /an, and you see that as soon as you start typing about those functions, it will start giving you the result of that. You see, you get the ancestor of that. And now with respect to certificate, let's say we want to write the XPath for home. We just inspect this home, and here you can write the XPath for this one. So here we have written the XPath for this element home with respect to certificate. And now here you will have to notice one thing, remember one thing, that what auto suggest it will give in a smart editor, that those will always be with respect to the inspected element. So you see that how quickly we have written the XPath for this element with respect to this element. So this is how you can write the XPath with access. And if you want to learn more about it, I have already added courses on Udemy, like free courses are there on XPath and CSS Selector. One more course is there on SelectorsHub, so that you can take and learn all about these functions, how to write, and you can practice more. And there are a lot of good videos on writing these kind of XPath on SelectorsHub YouTube channel, so you can refer those for more details. So this is how you can smartly write your own XPath in selectors, and you can learn all about them. Then question comes, like, how do we write the XPath for SVG element like DevTools? We have seen that, yes, that doesn't give the right result. And I'm not sure how many of you know that SVG element has different XPath syntax. They doesn't support like standard format of XPath. Like, you see, we have inspected this element. So if you write /SVG, this is a wrong syntax. No, this is not right. So what is the right? You just start typing, it will give you that what is the right. This is the right syntax. You select this, press enter, like this. And if you want to make it unique, you put the cursor in the beginning, it will give you the index based XPath. Also, it gives the auto generated XPath. Like, you just inspect the element, it will give you the auto generated unique XPath. So what XPath it gives SelectorsHub, you can compare with the XPath by generated by any other tool out there in the market. You will find always the better one, and it generates all possible selectors. Let me show you one example here. The XPath which will be generated for this element by DevTools. You see, let me copy, right click and copy the XPath here. What XPath your DevTools generate? This is the XPath your DevTools generate, and this is the XPath what SelectorsHub is generating. Let me copy the relatives. Let me copy the CSS selector. What your DevTools generate? This such a long CSS selector. Well, this is the CSS selector SelectorsHub generate. Another very good information, another very good innovation in Selectors. SelectorsHub is the very first CSS selector tool, very first tool for CSS selector, which is generating the relative CSS selector, unique relative CSS selector. So this is really amazing, and it is really helpful for those who are writing and those who prefer relative CSS selector. And in fact, like, if you have XPath and you want to convert that into CSS selector, like, let's say, let me copy the XPath for this element and paste that XPath here and press enter, you will see that it will give you the CSS selector for your XPath. So if you have any XPath, you want to convert that into CSS selector, that can also be done in SelectorsHub. So this is how it helps you a lot. And also, if you want to write your own CSS selector, that can also be done here. Like if you start typing CSS selector, you see that it gives you the CSS selector options. So it is smart enough to understand that whether you are writing, whether you want to write the CSS selector or XPath, so it will give you the result accordingly. So you see that now it's giving the CSS selector suggestions, and then you can pick and write. If it is a class, you just type dot. That way you can build it. If it is something ID or some value, then you can just like if you type hash, then it will be with ID and you can complete. So this is really helpful. So this is how you can build for the SVG XPath iframes. This is really amazing. You might have seen or heard about like frame. Yes, frame supports like there were few tools which were supporting frames, but you might have never seen any tool which can support nested iframes. Suppose your element is inside 10 iframes. In that case, it is a nightmare to write automation script for those elements, right? Like in looking at the DOM, where is that, this is really difficult. For example, like this element is inside iframe, it's easy. Yes, you inspect, you check, okay, inside this iframe I can write quickly my script. But this is also not easy. Many in the first go, you will not immediately understand that this element is inside iframe. First you will inspect, then you will execute the script, and then you will think like, then your script will fail. Then you will start realizing it could be inside iframe. In the first go, you will never understand that this element is inside iframe unless it is not visible right here. Okay, so this problem is solved by SelectorsHub very easily. That you got the frame XPath, you got the element selectors. You can quickly use it and build your complete your automation script. But what about nested iframe? If any element is inside multiple iframes, in that case also it will help. You just inspect element, it will tell you, SelectorsHub will give you the information here that this element is inside two nested iframe. This is the frame 1, this is the XPath for frame 2, and this is the XPath for the element. Now you just copy this, go to your script, switch one by one, and then perform the action. So this only SelectorsHub has made possible in the industry, in automation history, first time that you got the information for all the iframes. So this is really amazing. Can someone tell what's wrong in our XPath? Yes. So suppose you have written something wrong in your XPath like this. You press enter, anything wrong you will be doing, it will help you to learn the selectors, learn the all about XPath. So like add tag name after forward slash. So it is telling you that after forward slash, you will have to add tag name. If you miss something in your XPath, it will tell you that what is missing, like single quote, double quote, square bracket, everything. It will help you with that. So this is a smart editor. It has that error handling. You can also to save more time, like many a times what happened, for dynamic drop downs, those drop downs which we cannot like which we cannot inspect. So for that, for those elements, what can we do? How to write the selectors for them? Like for this kind of element, if you right click and try to inspect this, you see that we are not able to inspect. So what to do in this situation? In that case, this feature will really help you a lot. You just right click and copy. You see that you got the copy relative XPath. You can directly copy the relative XPath from here. And this right click option of SelectorsHub is customizable from here. That what all options you want, like you want relative CSS selector as well, you want JS path as well. JS path is really helpful for developers, and absolute XPath. So now if you right click on any element, you can directly copy whichever option you want, copy relative, CSS selector, anything. So you can directly copy this and use it in your script. So this is really helpful. You can also turn off the context menu. There are some really amazing pro tips. So let me quickly give you those pro tips. What all things are possible here in Selectors Hub. Let me quickly go, like if you want, while typing, you got the smart editor. If you want to turn off this one, you don't want this auto suggest, you can turn off from here. Now you can build your own XPath if you doesn't want. Whenever you want, you can keep it on. Many times you write the XPath here, and you have to write the new XPath, but you want to save this XPath somewhere. So what you used to do today, you copy this XPath, go back to your editor somewhere, you paste it there, and then come back, then you change the value, right? But no need to do any more those things. You have the plus icon here, click on this, it is saved in your local here, and whenever you want back this XPath, you just click here and you have it here. You can click edit again. You have the option to convert your XPath to XPath in CSS Selector case insensitive. Like this is, let's say here S is capital, but tomorrow it could be small, H could be capital, right? In that case, you just click on this, it will convert your XPath in CSS Selector case insensitive. So this is amazing. You doesn't want to see these auto-generated XPath or selectors, you can also turn out that. You can use SelectorsHub just as an editor, because many people just want to write their own XPath. So that also you can do. So you see that you got a clean everything here. Then you have amazing options here, like it has those options that if you want to generate XPath with any particular attribute, like here it is generating with title, but here you want with name, let's say. So you just pass the name here and press enter, it will generate with name. It is generating with name, you want with something else, so that you can pass. Or if it is generating, let's say, with class or some value, like it is generating with class, it is suggesting that it is dynamic, you can uncheck that. So likewise, you have that attribute filter here. When you write XPath, you got the XPath, but when you will use it in your script, you will have to type that driver.findElement command, right? You have that option here. You don't need to type that in your command, in your automation script. You can enter here driver.findElement, and this command could be anything, by.xpath, let's say, and wherever you are writing XPath, uh, replace that with XPath value, press enter, you get the command. And this command could be anything, like if you are in Cypress, you must be typing get.cy.get, something like that, right? So wherever you are writing a CSS selector in your command, that you can replace with XPath value, just that replace with XPath value keyword, and you got that thing, and you can use this. This is really helpful. You can generate multiple selectors. Let's say you want to generate XPath for all these elements and selectors in single go. You see that you can also turn off the command. Let me turn off. So let me show it from the beginning. You just keep inspecting that elements here, and you see in the selector sub, it is all generating. So everything is generated here. All possible selectors are generating along with their name. And you can copy this, paste it in your script. You can add the command as well. So all those features are there. I would really request you to please go and watch the detailed video tutorial. I'm showing it very quickly, so because I'm running late now, I guess. And one quick feature which is like really good innovation, there were some scenarios which we were never able to like which those kind of elements which we are not able to inspect, like this kind of element, dynamic drop down. If you right click, they immediately disappear. So we are not able to inspect those. For those elements, you have this innovation which is called debugger here in SelectorsHub. You just click on that. After clicking on that, make this appear here, and now you see that you can inspect this element, and you will see that SelectorsHub will generate the XPath, and you got that. You are able to inspect that. So this is really amazing. It was, trust me, it was never possible before. People were wasting hours of time. Another good feature, if someone is writing selectors or writing playwright, because many people you are using playwright these days. So For them, we have like Playwright doesn't support single quote attribute. You have to write with double quotes. So you have that feature. You just click on this. It will generate with double quotes. You see that? No. So this is really good. So likewise, there are many features. Keep exploring, keep loving this one. Pro tip, you can also write XPath based on attribute value, based on text availability. Like let's say you want all the inputs here in this page, which has class. So likewise, this way you can write. So there are 5 elements, 5 inputs, and these are the class values. Let's say you want all the links here on this page, /a/@href. So this is how you can get that. If you want the text, you can type the text here. So this is really good feature, and this you will find on SelectorsHub only. You can't do this thing here in browser dev tools. You will not get that value here. Thanks all the sponsors of SelectorsHub. Here are some of the achievements of SelectorsHub. It has won the Indian Achievers Award for 2020. It is being used in more than 130 countries. It is the #1 5-star rated XPath and Selector tools on all the browsers. It has started appearing in LinkedIn profiles, more than 40,000 active users on all the browsers just in 9 months. Engineers calls it lifesavers, and definitely it is helping a lot. Most of the trainers at Udemy, YouTube, all the training institute teaching about SelectorsHub, and they are recommending it because it is helping in your learning. You can take the certification as well, free certification program on SelectorsHub. So you will learn a lot. Here, just go to SelectorsHub website, click on certificate. Here you can take a small quiz. You trust me, you will learn a lot from this, and you will get this free certificate. This is a free certification, so do that. Now let me show you this amazing thing, writing selectors for Shadow DOM. This is the part which whole world is loving. You won't believe, like almost 85%, or you can say people were not aware about that XPath doesn't support the Shadow DOM. From SelectorsHub, after SelectorsHub came, they learned about this concept, and it has made possible. Like I have showed you guys for the Shadow DOM. Let me show you. If your element will be inside Shadow DOM, you just inspect that element, and you will get all the information here. And here you will get that complete script. This element is inside single Shadow DOM. If it will be multiple inside multiple Shadow DOM, that also it will work. So you just have to copy this one. And also let me tell you that standard format of handling web element for Shadow DOM doesn't work. You will have to use the JavaScript in that case to handle them. And you see that you just paste that, and whatever you want to enter in that, let's say we want to enter some value here in that box. So you just type SelectorsHub here. This could be anything. So what I did, I just copied this script from here from SelectorsHub, this one, and pasted there. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to enter the value here in this box for this website. And you trust me, like if you do it manually by your own, it will take a lot of time for you. So let me just execute the script now and see what how it works and whether it's execute or what it does. It's opening the browser. And it has entered the value. So this quickly you can do it. If it will be inside multiple Shadow DOM also, in that case also it will work. So we have seen the amazing features of SelectorsHub and how it is helping, how it can quickly make possible to complete your automation script, and it will increase your efficiency like anything, and will make you perfect in writing selectors and XPath. Now here is another amazing thing which LambdaTest has provided us, that we like right now I have opened this, run this script in my local, but now I can't run my 5 test case, 10 test case, or in like multiple devices. If I have to run, I can't run it in my local, right? And in fact, like after opening this, just after running this test case, my system is like burning like anything, because it used to take a lot of RAM. So let me execute the same test case on LambdaTest case on the cloud, and it will be Very easy. Just a small piece of code, just only these few lines of code I have to add it here. And if just execute this test case, and I will show you how it will execute on uh, cloud on the Lambda test case, and quickly we can do that. So you see that this is executing and it has detected. It will show the test case complete and like test complete. I will just go here and let me open the Lambda test here. Just log in, and the same test case what we have seen over there. Go to automation here in the dashboard, and it will show the test case. So this is the test case I just completed. Duration 6 seconds, and let me just run this like the recorded video. So this is the recorded video on the Lambda test, and you see the same test case is executing here, and it has entered the value, and that's all. So how quickly it has completed without any problem. And now in my local there is no browser opening or anything, no interruption is there, so quickly I could have done that. So with that I will hand over to Harshit, and he will explain more about Lambda test. Harshit, over to you.
Thanks, Sanjay. Thanks. That was great. That was very informative, the session. And thanks for building the base for me as well. I'm sure the myth breakers were fun and they were definitely eye-opening to me. I'm sure that, the viewers must be feeling the same way. And as Sanjay already pointed out, so I'll just quickly start off. We seem to be running short on time. So what we offer at Lambda Test is basically a cloud-based execution platform wherein you can come and run your website or your test Selenium-based test scripts over thousands of browser combinations. Now, in many cases, it's not feasible for you to have a dozen browsers in your system. As Sanjay pointed out, it takes a lot of toll on the your hardware, and in many cases it's not even going to be feasible as well, because you cannot have Internet Explorer running on a Mac machine. If you're having a Mac machine and you would want to run on IE, then that's going to be a tough one, and it's not going to be feasible from your system, definitely. Similarly, if you would want to see how your test cases are behaving on a Safari browser, it's not going to be possible if you're having a Windows machine with you. So what we offer at what we try to address is this what we are trying to address here is the problem that you get to test on as many browsers as you would want without worrying about the infrastructure hassle that comes with it. So you get to save up a lot of your time and bandwidth from the hassle of maintaining multiple browser versions, and just quickly run your tests on the cloud with ready to fire machines. uh, Sanjay, could you go to the next slide, please? So yeah, so we have 2,000 plus browser combinations, 430,000 users, active users who are using us daily. Other than automation testing, we also offer live interactive testing. Responsive testing is also a part where you can come in and test how your website is, viewing on different mobile devices and viewports. In fact, we have a very handy browser for that. It's called the LT browser. So wherein you can do side-by-side comparison, and it saves up a lot of your time for viewing a website, on multiple mobile browsers and viewports. We also offer screenshot testing. And with that said, I'll just quickly share my screen, Sanjay. So I'll just take it from here. So let me know if you can see my screen now. I'm just sharing. Is my screen visible? Sanjay, could you confirm?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
your screen.
All right. So this is what the platform is like. I just have this test executed over here, and I'll be running the same test over 3 browsers at the same time, which is another amazing capability of Lambda test. So you can actually run your test script over multiple devices at the same time. You can run the same test. We'll be running this test on Chrome, Safari, as well as Edge browser. And so as Sanjay pointed out, there are very minimal things that you need to do here. You just need to incorporate your username, your access key, and this what they basically do is they authenticate your access to our grid on cloud, right? So this is how the platform's dashboard would look like, and you can find these credentials over here, your username and access key, and as you can see, that we ran the test over the IDE. It's already reflecting that the new data is available here. And there is the test. So it ran in 17 seconds, 11 seconds, and 12 seconds. So these are the 3 test cases that we were running right now. And if I could just quickly open, and we would get to see how that would look like. So as Sanjay already pointed out, you have video recordings wherein you can come and check the entire execution of what's happening. If there are ever any exceptions that you come across while executing your test scripts, you will find it over in this tab. Now we have these command logs wherein you can come and see command by command screenshots. So every Selenium command that takes place, there will automatically be a screenshot captured for it if you provide a capability for that in your code. So in our code, the capabilities are defined here. And as you can see, I've passed the visual capability to be set as true. And I've defined which browser or operating versions, operating system version I would want to run my test on. So sorry about that. So you can come and look at all of these screenshots, and in case you find anything, anything buggy here that you would feel like you would need to report to your development team or anywhere that you need to report, and we offer third-party integrations. You can click on this bug icon, integrate your LambdaTest account with your desired project management tool. Just report it over here, connect that particular tool. I already have Azure DevOps integrated with me, so that's where this issue will be going on right now. And once I hit the create issue button, that bug would be successfully marked right from the LambdaTest dashboard to the project management tool. We also have network logs wherein you can come and check how your website or website under test is behaving to network. You can see different type of get post how get and post methods, and you can find the timestamps, corresponding timestamps, to see what exactly happened, to get to the nitty-gritty of it. You can see all the media elements over here, and you could also go and deep dive into the Selenium raw logs in case you want to get to the nitty-gritty of what's happening with your script, and you would want to debug that on. So you can pretty much come and debug anything over here in case you want to get into Selenium raw logs. You will find them over here. At the end, like you also have metadata wherein you can find everything related to your test ID, your test case, that test script. So your ID, session ID, a test ID, which browsers were incorporated for that particular build, what was the operating system over which the test was running, and what was the exact timestamp. So there's a lot to the platform. You can come up and explore. There's lots of filters, so you can come and check which filters are. You can come and segregate the dashboard, and by all means feel free to roam around here. We're running short on time, so I'll just stop sharing for now. One thing I would like to highlight is we have a capability generator, right? And what it does is it will automatically, you can come up here and select whichever language that you are comfortable with, and it will give you the classes that you just need to put in over here in your code. And these you can come and quickly select. By default, as I said, the visual capability was set to false. The screenshots, command by command screenshots that we were looking at. But in case you want that to be turned on, you can come to the screenshot, to the capability generator, and just toggle the screenshot button. And having said that, I will now stop sharing my screen, or rather, let's just go from here to okay, fine. So once you have the access to the platform, you get 100 minutes of automation testing free. That's going to be upon us. You also get a freemium access to the product, wherein you can come and check all the other features that we have: real-time testing, responsive testing, screenshot testing, and they are basically renewed every month. So by all means, feel free to sign up on the product and see, and let us know how you feel about it. And with that, let's dive into Q&A. Okay. So Sanjay, would you like to take up the Q&A?
Yes. Thank you, Harshit. Yeah, it was a great explanation. Thank you. So the very first question is from Vedi. When we use either XPath or CSS Selector to identify web element, and is it okay to use XPath only to identify web elements. Yes, it's absolutely okay to use XPath only if you want. Of course, XPath has more flexibility than CSS Selector, but yes, some people prefer that CSS Selector over XPath. But there is no harm if you continue using XPath. There was like in the past, there were things that CSS Selector was much faster than XPath when the era of IE was there, but not anymore. All the browsers using the uh, same JS base engine, so there is no performance issue at all. I mean, yes, theoretically we can prove that when like, but hardly with the open eyes you would be able to ever identify whether XPath is faster or CSS. So it's absolutely okay if you want to use XPath, but I would really recommend, like, if you get ID or some uh, other selectors, XPath should be the last choice, because yes, XPath is not that fast, but compared to other selectors. But yes, there is no harm in using XPath. Amar, if I'm pronouncing the name correct, how does the tool differentiate between by.cs CSS locator XPath using CSS locator and by.xpath? So tool doesn't differentiate. Uh, will I mean, like, tool, what, like when you will use that command, like let's say driver.find element by.xpath, and wherever you are having the xpath value, wherever you have typed xpath in your command, just replace that with the xpath value keyword. Tool is smart enough to replace in CSS selector by.css selector, in for class by.class, for xpath by.xpath. So for that I would really recommend that you can watch the video tutorial. There is a separate video tutorial how to use that command feature, so you will understand it better. And there in the tooltip as well, I have given the explanation which how you have to mention the command, if I'm sure like you are asking the question from that command feature. So I guess we have covered these questions.
There's one more question in the chat that we had earlier.
Mhm.
It's uh,
Yes, I guess one was there. Yeah, let
yes,
me just open that chat. Uh,
it's
Bhavesh,
from
I guess.
Bhavesh. Yes.
Yes. Can we use SelectorsHub to identify? Yes, Bhavesh, absolutely. We can use it for Angular elements as well. Uh, like ng, yes, it supports them. Yes, and yeah, that's perfect. Any, so basically SelectorsHub is not dependent on any technology. No matter whether your application is on Angular, React, or any web technology, it supports your application. If it has DOM, yes, SelectorsHub will support. Your application should be open on browser. Even it supports the local files as well, local HTML files as well. So for that, like, you will have to do one setting that you can check out how to do that on SelectorsHub website on the channel as well. So yeah, it is for, yes, it works on for all the technologies application. It just need the DOM. I'm taking the questions from the Q&A. Are you think, Aimer, it's the question from Aimer. Are you thinking about an integration with the available tools for mobile? It already supports for mobile web application. Currently, it doesn't support for mobile native apps. So yes, in future, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, you might get the solution shown. Pros and cons between LambdaTest and Sauce Labs. Uh, Harshit, over to you.
Yeah. So how about, I would not like to boast or demean anybody over here. How about you come up and spin up the platforms? I am sure you'd be impressed about what we are building here, and that's about it on that question. But by all means, feel free to give us a try, spin up the product, and let us know what you think about it. And we have another question which says, does Lambda test support mobile device testing? Okay, so yes, we do have mobile device testing on our platform. You cannot, we at present do not offer native app testing, but anything around mobile browsers, that's definitely something which you can test upon manually as well as you can automate. So in the capability generator as well, you will find a section which is for APM, and that would definitely allow you to get the capabilities for all the mobile devices and browsers there, right? So
Great. And there is one more question. Maybe Harshit, you can take the on the second part. First part I will take later.
all right, so Does LambdaTest support Jira and Slack integration? Yes, absolutely. So let me, in fact, just quickly share my screen here, and I could actually show you the integration that we have on the platform. So we pretty much, we are always adding more and more third-party tools to the platforms to make sure that your pace of release cycles is, it's pulling across at a fast pace. And we have all the third-party tools integrated with, be it around project management, bug tracker, which also includes Jira, and communication tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, Rocket Chat. We also have integrations to CI/CD, in fact, and that way you can actually plug your automation, your continuous testing pipeline, continuous integration, CI/CD delivery pipeline to the LambdaTest platform and perform continuous testing. So every time you try to push something new, an automation script would automatically be executed if you have integrated your CI/CD job or with the LambdaTest. We also offer integrations with codeless automation tools, and then there are test reporting tools, and we have plugins and extensions across. So by all means, feel free to stroll around the platform and explore for yourself. I'm sure you'll find something that clicks you better. In case there is any integration that this for everyone that you think we are not offering at this point, by all means, feel free to recommend it to us in our in-app chat support. So we are 24/7 available over here, and we take customer feedbacks very seriously. So by all means, feel free to give us a question or some suggestions on the integration side. Thank you.
Yes. So is SelectorsHub effective against dynamic XPath as well? Yes, absolutely. Like SelectorsHub gives you the suggestion, and it's very effective against dynamic XPath. It gives you the suggestion as well with a tooltip that the XPath which SelectorsHub has generated, whether that is a dynamic one or not. So it basically considered like if any attribute value, like your ID value or class value, whichever it has used to generate the XPath, whether that is dynamic or not, it suggests that. And if you want to generate without those attributes, you can generate that. Yeah. So yes, it's very effective in case of dynamic. Can I use SelectorsHub inside LambdaTest? Of course you can. Yes. So while writing the script inside LambdaTest, yes, definitely you can use it. And I'm sure like people are using there. If you have guys any feedback, any suggestion, feel free to ask. If you have any question, we are more than happy to answer here. And if you get any kind of issue or challenges or anything you want to discuss, feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn, Twitter, or Slack channel of SelectorsHub. All the links you will get on the SelectorsHub tab when you will open there on the bottom.
All right, then I guess we can wrap it up for now, Sanjay. I don't think we're getting any more questions.
Sure.
So thanks everyone for joining in. Thank you, Sanjay, for taking time out of your schedule. It's been lovely having you here. Lots of insights. I'm sure our viewers must be thrilled about everything that they have learned, and it might have added to being more productive at Selenium Automation. And special thanks to everyone who joined in from all parts of the globe. It's always a pleasure to host a great audience, as I said, and it's been great to be connecting with all of you. And in case you joined us midway during this session, you can find the full recording over our YouTube channel. And if you're already registered to us via Zoom, you will find it the full recording over your registered email address as well. Thanks, Russell. It's great. It was great connecting with you. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you Harshit for being amazing host. It was great experience and great learning today. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Be safe and stay at home.
Take care everyone. Bye bye. Happy testing.
Bye. Thank you.